And we know that in contraception is a process whereby you avoid pregnancy.
Correct.
Right? And there are certain things that you take. Most taken are by the women in this case. Now, and that's how you help with things like family planning or unwanted pregnancy. Now, if you don't have the contraception, what are we staring at here?
Thank you, first of all, for bringing up this very important topic. It's a topic which cuts across all sectors, as we say. Maybe just a quick overview of what contraception is for those of our viewers, our listeners who may not have a very good idea about what contraception is. As you said, contra and deception is against conception.
Right.
Sometimes we interchange contraception with family planning, which is understandable because we do use contraception to space our family. And August is contraception, family planning or contraception awareness month, which is a good thing. Now, when we talk about contraception, we can broadly divide this into two groups. Number one, we can talk about contraception which is reversible and contraceptions which are irreversible. The ones which are irreversible are, for example, when we cut the tubes of the fallopian tubes of a patient, of a lady, for whatever reason. She's had the number of children that she wants to have, or sometimes she doesn't even want to have children at all. Then we, and this is the method that she has opted for, and we cut the tubes. For the gentlemen, we also cut tubes as well. We do a vasectomy. Nasikia, Dennis
he's trying to clear his throat. It's okay. I told you to be on my side.
We also do a vasectomy where we cut the tubes, which actually bring out the sperms, as it were. Now, for the men, for this non-reversible method is sort of a big problem in this country because the acceptance rate of a vasectomy rate is about maybe 3% or even 4% if at best, as it were. So then we come to the other ones which are reversible. And to that, I can also add another subgroup, which is called the natural methods of contraceptions. I'll start with the so-called natural methods, and then I can come with into the other group. The natural methods are the ones, for example, where a woman tracks her cycles, because during the cycle, during ovulation, a lady's basal temperature will increase by about 1 degree. So the lady, in order for her to use this method, she has to track her cycle for about 3 to 6 months, such that she knows that around this date, I see an increase in temperature, that is ovulation. So if I don't want to have a baby, I will not have intercourse at that time. This is a method which is propagated by some certain areas, which is relatively a good method, so long as we are able to contain our emotions. Now, not a very good method as well, because if that patient has, for example, a common cold or some infection, of course she may have a fever. She will have a fever, and that will throw that method into disarray. The other one is following what we call the vaginal discharge. During ovulation, there is a clear, watery, slippery vaginal discharge, which physiologically is basically supposed to help the sperms to swim to get to where they are supposed to get. So if there is that watery, slippery, clear discharge, then avoid intercourse. But then, physiologically, that is a time when a woman is actually programmed to feel that she wants to have intercourse. So that can be a bit of a challenge as well. So that is a natural method which is also propagated. The other one is what we call coitus interruptus, meaning you're having intercourse, and then just before the gentleman ejaculates, he withdraws his organ and then ejaculates outside. It's like trying to stop, maybe this way, trying to stop a train before it reaches the station, and most of the time it will reach the station and pass the station before you stop it. So it's a method which usually doesn't work. There is what we call pulse index. Pulse index is basically where we look at a number of women who have used a certain method of contraception and how many of them have got pregnant. So in these methods, for example, that one of coitus interruptus, it fails almost 90%. It fails.
Sure it does.
And the same with the ones where we check the vaginal, discharge and so on. So if something fails by 90%, I don't think you can call it a contraception method at all. So that is we actually don't even advocate for that. But as gynecologists, we have to put all these methods on the table so that the patient can choose the method that he or she would like. Now, when you come to the other ones now, we talk about hormonal contraception and non-hormonal contraception. In the hormonal contraception, we have quite a number of groups there. We talked about combined oral contraceptive pills. Then you have what you call mini pills. We have patches. We have vaginal rings. We have the injections that we use, and so on. We also have intrauterine contraceptive device, which is hormonal as well. And then we have another one which is non-hormonal. Then we have the ones which you have talked about, where we have condoms. We have diaphragms for the women, and we also have quote unquote condoms for women as well. We start with the condoms for women. Very few women use them because they're clumsy, number one, and by the time you get into the mood and saying ngoja wacha niingize hii kitu kwanza, and then we start the act, it really doesn't work. The condom, which is very well known and quite widely used by men, it's supposed to be available. NACOST is supposed to have these condoms actually available everywhere. For free? For free. Let's say free, because when you say free, somebody is paying for it. Right, so there should be a budgetary allocation for this. Supported, yes. Okay. But it is not available. Now, what are the consequences? You talked about they are not there. Combined oral contraceptive pills are not there. The condoms are not there. 3 months injectables. 3 months injectable are not there, and so on. I think it is a tragedy. First of all, that we as a country, how many years? 64 years after independence, that actually some of the very big programmatic things that we do, HIV, donor funded, blood banks, donor funded, contraception, donor funded. I was almost tempted to say dialysis, donor funded, but it's not donor funded. These are huge public health issues which we as a country should have actually taken under our wing a long time ago and run with them. What are the consequences of this withdrawal of donor funding? The donor tells you 3 years ago that in 3 years' time, we are going to do what? We'll start scaling down and we will stop doing what? We'll stop giving you this aid. But 3 years down the road, when the donor withdraws the funding, we are shocked. That ameenda na pesa yake. So what are we going to do? We start scrambling left, right, and center, looking for funds, which are mega for healthcare, but for other things, these funds are available. For political, meetings and whatever, funds are available. But for healthcare, we have a challenge. Now,